Good afternoon, good evening, and good morning to some of you out there. Welcome to our weekly report live stream. It's exciting to be here today. It's taken a lot to get here, and we've got some incredible guests in the house. We've got Hermie with Meta Rides. We've got Dylan with Income Island and Star Dogs, and you're about to meet some real legends. Yeah, real legends. I'm serious. I'm extremely excited to be here. How's everybody doing? You guys ready to pump this up a little?
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
All right. So we're going to go ahead. I'm going to do a little bit of a weekly report, kind of give you an idea of what's been cooking and what we've got accomplished. And then we'll dive into what we're going to be doing with Meta Rides, with Income Island, and Star Dogs, and we've got a few more, so we might be back here next week, same time. Even though we're doing these live streams every other week, I think if we get this momentum going, we're going to be back. I was watching one of our old live streams, Big Bear, from like a couple of years ago, and we had a lot of the team on at the time. And oh my gosh, it was so slow and so boring. It was like so bad. I was looking at it going, wow. And plus I was like 30 pounds heavier. So yeah, working
just a reminder, James, tilt your glasses.
Oh, I'm a so guys, I get googly eyes. So this is the googly eyes. All right. Good deal. All right, let's go ahead and get moving here. If you got any questions, throw them up in the chat. I'm going to flip over to the chat so I can see who's all hanging out. And Dave is in the house.
CC and Dave. Hey, welcome, gents.
It's good to have you guys here with us. So, weekly report. So, Jevin and I spent a couple hours working on the SIVA integration into our Discord this morning. It's almost done. We've got to do some. So what we learned is we were on the standard, and then I added the founders, the white label, and I didn't turn off the standard, and so we were having conflicts. And so we turned off the standard. We got Joe in from SIVA. He was hanging out with us this morning, and we got everything tightened up. But with the founders level of SIVA, we've got to go in and rebuild all of the rewards. So that's what Jovin's been doing today. We'll continue to work on that. Hopefully here over the weekend, we'll have some announcements around that. But if you noticed, our launch video has been updated. It doesn't have some of the old stuff on there and some of the outdated text. So we'll probably play that as an outro today, just so you can hang out and see that again. We're continuing to work on the AxionDAO.com website. We are about to send out our press releases, and we had hoped to do this a lot sooner. But to be honest with you, sometimes there is a good reason to have ducks all lined up in a row. It makes a difference. It makes a much stronger impact. And so we're close to having those ducks all lined up. It's like herding kittens, but ducks are ducks. And we're also about to launch our first major marketing campaign. We're going to call it the 50K giveaway. It will be a multi-week, multi-month campaign. It'll probably extend into December, maybe even in January, with weekly prizes. And we'll go over that just a little bit. And of course, our attorney's been busy drafting up our bylaws, articles of incorporation. And we have a few other potential partners that we, like I said, might be back on this coming week to introduce them. But we're here today to meet our partners and talk about our promotions. So we'll be meeting Hermie with Meta Rides. They're building the next generation interoperability in Web 2, Web 3 gaming with customized racing NFTs, some garages, some avatars, some really cool stuff. You'll be seeing some pictures. Let Hermie talk about that some more. Of course, we've got Dylan with Income Island here. Income Island is a downloadable metaverse that you can currently find on the Microsoft App Store. So this is something you can download onto your PC and enjoy it in the privacy of your home. Ready Player One. We're halfway there, right, Dylan?
That's right.
And then Star Dogs. I'm really excited. Dylan also works with a project called Star Dogs, and they're bringing movie production and participation in the film industry to blockchain through custom NFTs that the holder with opportunities to participate in the process. Is that a fair way to say that? Is that the right way to say that?
Yep.
Right. Shaking heads. Got good deal. So we're going to be looking at this 50K giveaway. Again, this is going to be a multi-month, weekly engagement program. So every week for the next 6 months, approximately, we'll be giving away about $5,000 a month in monthly prizes, and we're going to be utilizing engagement platforms. We're going to be engaged in kind of some cross promotion with our partners. We're going to be using Tascon, Queston, Galaxy. Of course, that was spelled wrong, and I can't update it now. I'll have to update it after the. I think autocorrect put the Y in. And so we're going to be using some engagement platforms to do that, which will bring a lot more eyeballs onto the project and those projects we're working with. And we're looking forward to really kind of engaging with our partners in this process. And if we build it together, then we will rise together. I think I've heard both of you say that many, many, many times in spaces. And that's really something that I've appreciated, is that consistency and the tenacity that these projects that we've been working with have shown in building and continuing to build in spite of the bear market, in spite of different hurdles, and just killing it out there. So excited to have you guys with us today, definitely. So without further ado, Hermie from MetaRides is in the house.
Yes, sir.
And for those of you who saw a live stream just a few weeks back, a couple months back, how long has it been? About a month or so?
It's 6 weeks. Yeah, it's crazy.
Time is just brutal. It just doesn't wait for anybody. So we hung out down in Vegas at what is it? BTC? What was it?
I just call it BTC Vegas, but it was the
BTC Vegas.
Yeah.
The lower left-hand corner, we're hanging out in Mike Tyson's old digs, and in the upper right-hand corner, we're hanging out in Elvis Presley's mansion, his old digs when he was performing in Vegas all the time. And got to meet some insane, awesome, amazing people there that are part of the Rogue Bunnies, and we might be introducing you to the Rogue Bunnies here soon enough. Let's hope. We can hope. But they are awesome, amazing, and very influential individuals, and it was just a real treat. And I can't tell you how much I appreciate you inviting me to come down there, Hermie. I really had a great time. And I think I'm wearing the same shirt. Look at that. So why don't you go ahead? So I'm going to go one more slide here. Mm-hmm. So we're looking to participate in this next generation of NFTs, which will give us access to various games, different campaigns and projects. We're looking to do branded vehicles, branded avatars, branded garages where you can park all your cars. And there's going to be a showroom in the metaverse. So why don't you go ahead and take some time and really just whatever you feel like you want to share, some of the partners you have, because I know you're already partnered up with Unstoppable Domains, Rogue Bunnies, and you can go on from there.
Yeah, for sure. Tootsie, we just signed a deal with Tootsie. James, first of all, thanks for having us. It's exciting to be able to announce the partnership and some of the things that we're going to be building together. I'm going to double down on what you said about building games and partner games, etc. what we're building is an ecosystem where different gaming collectibles can be used in different ways, right? So the vehicle that you see on your screen, that's our alpha futuristic car. Nice, big, beautiful hood that we can put logos and branding on. We can attach music to those, where if you own a certain vehicle, it plays certain music inside the game for you, and we can token gate that as well. But what's really cool is that vehicle can exist in different worlds, right? It can exist in a mobile challenge that you go in daily and you race against the globe and do your thing for 10 to 15 minutes. And it can also exist in a Steam game, for instance, where you can put in, a lot more sweat equity to earn, different things. So what we want to do is ultimately give the holder something they can use in different places, give the brands something that appear in different places, and then also give the fans a game, like a gamer, for instance, really cool and unique experiences around all of that, and bring exposure back to the brands in a big way. So joining forces with Axion DAO was easy for us. We love the team. James, we've hung out a couple of times, as you said, and with us at MetaRides, in many ways, it's about the trust, it's about the partners, it's about the people. And it was just a no-brainer to be able to piece this together and help you guys with your promotion. We want to get the Axion DAO out there. We want to share what you guys are doing, and we also want it to be really cool. So when your holders, your fans, your supporters, your community, when they do go in and race for themselves, they can also represent the Axion DAO brand as well. So that ecosystem is growing behind the scenes very rapidly. We're working on some major deals with some major racing brands. Nothing's inked yet. We don't want to share any of that stuff yet, but there are a lot of things that are in the works right now that we're doing everything that we can to build in a big way. And then ultimately brands like Tootsie and other brands in Web 2, we want to bring them into Web 3, show them the virtual exposure that they can get, advertisement for pennies on the dollar compared to what they're paying in Web 2. And then all of a sudden Web 3 gets, a new brand that they can support and kind of back in different ways. So hopefully that made sense. I do feel like I ramble a bit sometimes when I get on lives, but
No.
I think it's important for everybody to understand that with us, it's about a vision where we're trying to build gaming, but also help musicians and help brands along the way, and also help their communities with that. So hopefully that all made sense.
Well, and both you and Dylan are X-Space rock stars. I mean, I don't know how you guys do this. I mean, I get notifications 5 or 6 times a day that you're speaking in a space. And I do follow both of you at that level now, because I am going to start following you around. But also to give a little context, because I think this is important. So we all, and when I say we all, I mean me, you, and Dylan, really connected IRL for the first time about a little over 2 years ago at Breathe, at the Breathe convention. And I think it's important to note, because a lot of times it can feel like going to these IRL conventions, and this is really if you don't know how to, if you don't know how to network effectively, then these conventions can probably just seem like, window shopping. But we were able to connect there IRL. I met Dylan there for the first time. And so this is the culmination of a relationship that's been in the works for almost 2 years. I mean, that's really where the strength and the power and the excitement for me comes from, because it really has taken us a long time to get here. And just watching you guys grow, watching you go through the different challenges that you've gone through, and continuing to build and continuing to attract these larger brands, and knowing for all of us that there's this crescendo on the horizon, and being able to be a part of that with you guys, I think is really, really exciting for us. And so we appreciate that. And I'm going to be talking to you guys after this, because I do want to put together a really nice article about each project on our Medium, and to be able to push that out. As you know, I love to write. And so I definitely want to put together some nice articles out there. And that will give people some more insight to exactly what's going on, what you guys are doing, and what these opportunities mean for the DAO, for Axion. And so, and you don't ramble. You've been doing this for so long. You're a pro when it comes to this kind of stuff. So, I model after both of you, and I'm not just saying that to blow wind up dresses or anything like that. It really is a treat. So, and here's the cool thing, is that you both Income Island and MetaRides already have probably one of the strongest relationships in the metaverse. I know we've got Interlink coming in, and we've got a few other ones that Dylan, you feel free to share and talk about. But and maybe we can kind of pass things on to Dylan a little bit and let him talk about where that's coming from, what's going on there, and the doors that are really being opened up for projects like us to come in and really have an opportunity to interact with other projects that have very, very like-minded goals. And that's really ultimately, what we want to achieve, and to be able to support each other in that. So feel free to add anything that maybe you thought about while I was talking, or we can go ahead and let Dylan take that over.
I got one more piece before we hand it over to Uncle Dylan. So I just want to say, the relationship with Income Island for us has been huge. We've had a dealership there for multiple years now. Anytime that we reference MetaRides and being able to use the vehicles, we always talk about Income Island, which helps them. Whenever they do a walkthrough, they take people right to the MetaRides dealership to drive cars around. It helps us. And those kind of cross-marketing efforts have supported both of us in ways that we probably don't even realize, in helping both of the brands grow. So I just want to be clear, that's in a nutshell, being able to drive vehicles that are branded inside the Income Island metaverse is the story. That is what we're trying to accomplish, where not only are the vehicles and all of the assets for that matter going to work inside our environments, but also in worlds like Income Island, and it just brings more value back to the brand. So hopefully that makes sense. And, I'll hand it off to Dylan now, but the relationship with Income Island and now with Axion DAO, it just building with good people in good ways and having the right intentions is, essentially what we're all about.
Appreciate that. Yeah. So just to kind of get a little bit of a lead in. So the Income Island is a downloadable metaverse, just like any game where you're playing from Steam or where, anywhere else. You can download the metaverse onto your PC or your Mac, and you can interact and engage within the metaverse. And I've had this vision for quite a long time of how we could have a presence in the metaverse. And so we are finally in the process of doing that. And if you look at this now, this was just an initial kind of idea that we were playing with. We've had some changes since this, but if you notice, there's a little launch pad in there. And if you really look closely, it's the exact same launch pad that we have in our video. And that was what's been really exciting for us, to be able to have something that our community is very familiar with. Now they're going to be able to go inside the metaverse and actually see it in operation, right? That's kind of the goal, right there, Dylan? So why don't you go ahead and share a little bit about Income Island, and some of the things that you're doing to bring us into the Ready Player One metaverse.
Yeah, I appreciate it. And it's awesome to be a part of this stream and being partnered up with Axion DAO. Like you said, we've known each other for a couple of years now. And I think we've been in spaces together even longer than that, but met in person about 2 years ago. So Income Island, as James had mentioned, is a 3D virtual world that's downloadable onto your computers. We have been around for about 5 years in development, and we've been live to the general public for about 4 years. We first started off on the Microsoft App Store, branched out into to be available on Mac computers. With every update that we do, we add new functionality, new features, improve upon the graphics. If you were to see where we were on a graphic standpoint 3-4 years ago when we first launched it and where we are now, it's night and day. And we continue to evolve it and hope to evolve it even more, over the coming months and years. We see this as a place where we're not building out Income Island as necessarily a gaming metaverse, although there will be games and other things that people will be able to engage with, from concerts to movies, walking into a movie theater and hang out with your friends and watch a movie like you would in real life, and turn to the right and left and be laughing and hear each other and all of that stuff, go to conventions in there. But really, it's above and beyond those things. We're engaging with others. It's also running your business from it. We see metaverses as really kind of Internet 3.0, where you're able to engage and do e-commerce and commerce in these digital worlds, being able to pick up items and go, okay, yes, I want this. Maybe you're getting a digital version of it. Maybe you're getting a physical version that then is, shipped to your home. All of this is possible, and we're already achieving it. We've helped NFT projects mint out from inside Income Island. We've had people buy food that was delivered to their home for dinner from inside our metaverse as well. You can live stream, you can watch Netflix, you can watch Amazon Prime, you can pull up YouTube, whatever you're wanting to do. We've built out a university building within it. All of this is just moving in steps to bring what we do every day in the real world into the digital world. And it's exciting, and it's all done not through what we imagine and what we envision, but it's really comes down to the partnerships. Would we have thought to put, a rocket ship that, in the metaverse right away? Probably not. But James and the team with Axion DAO, they had this launch video, and they had the assets, and they had ideas of what they want to create, what they want available to people. And it's like, let's implement that into the metaverse. And so we're excited about that. With MetaRides, they already designed these 3D interoperable vehicles that are usable in games and different metaverses and other environments. So it's like, it made so much sense. And again, it really came down to the relationships that have been built. We always talk about this in our spaces that we're all in. It's, you get involved with the brands and the companies that you trust in the people behind it, not necessarily the products or the services. Those are great. Those are important. But more important than anything is the people running it. When you look at Craig and Hermie and Goof with MetaRides, when you look at the team here with Axion DAO, Interlink, who we've partnered up with, Rogue Bunnies and Victoria and her whole team there, NFA with Sid and his whole team, all of this, is how it's all evolving. And yes, it's that saying of a rising tide raises all ships. We're all lifting each other up higher and higher. Income Island being a place where, the businesses can build and doing it in a way where it's beneficial for everybody, not just the environment and the company and people that own the environment, where sometimes you deal with that in other digital worlds where you might be paying an arm and a leg to build within them. We're looking at how can these relationships grow beyond where we are right now? How can we set this up in a way where it benefits everybody involved? And that's what's exciting. We're able to help other people. They help us. It's a win-win for everybody involved. And so it's early stages of that Ready Player One. We've got plans for mobile. We've got plans for VR, other gaming consoles as well. Adding in, haptic suits and haptic gloves in the future. That technology where you're truly immersing yourself into these environments. The technology is there. It's just a matter of how many people are using it on a daily basis, and does it make sense to implement it now or wait a little bit later? It's about making strategic moves and strategic partnerships, and doing it for the benefit of everybody. So that's a bit about Income Island. It was founded by Lee Greenfield. He is the owner and founder. Brought Darcy Donovan, who is also the founder of Star Dogs. He brought her on board. I am her business manager and partner with Star Dogs, and I've been helping to move everything forward with Income Island. And yeah, it's constantly marketing. It's constantly getting the word out there, but not doing it off of hype, doing it off of things that you're actually making happen. It's like, do the stuff, then promote it. Not, promote it, and maybe a year later you release it, which we've all seen in the Web3 space, over the years.
Yeah. And I am really excited to see what they're doing with Interlink and the plans that they have inside. I think there's a lot of touch points that we're going to be able to build a lot of synergy around, and it'll be really exciting because it will be a great place to have events and parties and like, in the future when we're ready to launch. I don't know that we'll be able to launch when we migrate to base, but at some point we'll be able to have launch parties and showcase some of those projects that we're working with in this community partnership type of program. So I'm excited and really energized by what we're seeing, what the other things we're seeing. And I actually do have someone I'll be introducing you to here shortly that may want to put access to their game in the verse. So we'll be talking about that soon enough, but that's what it's all about. It's about looking at all of these relationships, all of these areas where there's a small void. And I'm not talking about, these drastic, voids. I'm talking about, small voids that really kind of complete the picture. And, I'm about telling stories, and the stories that are already being told around what's happening with both Income Island, Star Dogs, with the movies that you've already done and that you're looking to do. The opportunities are really endless, and so I'm excited and honored and totally thrilled to be able to finally start this process moving forward as we are engaged in our own building and moving our ecosystem from Polygon to Base, and the opportunities that will be opened up there. We've shared with the community a little bit that we're going to be doing kind of an upgrade to the way we access and use the accelerator and particles and everything else, and it'll be really nice to have a wall in our one of our buildings where people can interact with that as well as on the blockchain. But so it's just opportunities, really the opportunities for cross promotion and to support one another is just insane. And with Metarides and Tootsie and a couple other ones that I know that they're working hard to get on board. This is going to be a game changer. And like I said, I think we're kind of approaching this precipice, if you will, where everything's going to kind of just click in together, and we're going to be off to the races. No pun intended, but hey, it sounded great, right? Anybody else? If you have anything else, we're going to revisit each of these projects in more detail in the future. Like I said, I'll be putting together some articles, and especially once we go to access our what we're doing with each one, and once those things are complete, we're going to be having some pretty big parties. But I know we've got John in the house. No, dude, what is my problem? Dave. I do this every time. See, Dave and John are kind of like cohorts in all the X spaces we do.
I think you just like giving Dave a hard time. Bottom line, you give him a hard time in spaces, and now you're doing it here on the live stream.
Dave, I know you've been talking to both Hermie and Dylan for quite a while as well too. So I don't know if you have any thoughts you want to share.
I mean, I know Craig and Hermie from Meta Rides better than Dylan. I think you kind of introduced me to Dylan, and then
I'm leaving, Dave. You were not friends anymore.
Well, I was about to sing your praises, but if you're going to be like that, I was just going to say it's been wonderful getting to know you, Dylan. I've really enjoyed it. I've been grateful that I've been allowed to jump on a couple of calls with you guys about what you want to achieve with Income Island and how you can integrate partners with what you're doing. And I think the potential is massive. And I love that you're bringing opportunities, real life opportunities to people in the digital space, or kind of crossing those digital boundaries with Stardogs and Darcy. So yeah, no, grateful that I've had the opportunity to get to know you a little bit better. But Meta Rides I've known since I came into this space. I've known these guys since October 2021 when we first started hosting spaces, Metal, and just never had a bad experience with them. They've been super supportive of everyone and anyone. Not everyone and anyone, but you know what I mean. You know what I mean, Hermie. You uplift the people around you. You support good people. You want to give back wherever possible, and it's exciting. It's exciting to be stepping into these partnerships with both of you guys, and I'm here for it, definitely, and excited to work alongside you both a little bit closer.
Dave, send me an invoice. Nice job.
I mean, after 4 years, I've got this one down. It's all right.
So Big Bear, anything you any questions you have or any thoughts you want to share?
No, not so much questions. I mean, admittedly, I'm rather not very well versed in the metaverse, so this is going to be an exploratory, experiential process for me to get to know it. But what I do know is with the way how fast technology is advancing, and especially with the onset of AI and how fast it's becoming quite useful, and just the way the industry is going. The metaverses have been around for quite a while, but it was never something that really, not that it didn't pique my interest, but it was something that maybe I just didn't fully understand it. I've always been more from a DeFi background with regards to crypto and working with projects that can help generate yield for their users, in ways that would allow you to do that without having to basically sell your bag. Always keeping the nest egg intact, be able to earn a living, and provide for friends and family and whatever else may come along down the road. So I'm excited to see where this goes. I've had a lot of long conversations with James. We never have short conversations, but
we had a couple recently.
Yeah, we have some real quick ones. But when Hermie said, that when he said he tends to ramble, I was sitting here going, "Oh no, no rambling." But yeah, I mean, with the way this current cycle is sort of unraveled or is continuing to unravel, this is so different from this is my third cycle. I got involved in crypto in about mid 2017, just before ETH and Bitcoin sort of took their big charge, and this cycle is very, very different. And I think there's a few things that kind of made it that way. One of them was probably the approval of ETFs, and then they sort of that whole blitz of buying on Bitcoin really front ran the cycle faster than it should have, and the entire market's sort of been busy trying to catch up to it. We're just getting the inklings now that there's altcoin cycles starting to, the engines are starting to warm up, and I think there's some exciting times ahead between now and the end of the year. Personally, for me, I think we're lining up for a super cycle that could take us right through 2026 into first quarter 2027. There's just a lot of things in play that can make that happen. And with the communities, this cross-pollinating of communities and getting every community's eyeballs on each other is great, because it gives people options. It gives people something new to experience, something new to learn, and a new opportunity that they would have never had otherwise. So, I think when we're forming partnerships like this, we can all collectively walk hand in hand and help each other achieve everybody's individual goals, and then collectively we all win in the long run. So, this is my first time meeting Dylan and Harry's. I'm looking forward to see where this is going to go. Yeah, for sure.
Hey, I just wanted to add on with that. So, you were kind of talking about coming from the DeFi side, and that touches on, our last update. We actually, because we have a crypto exchange building inside the metaverse. So when you walk in there, we've got, different booths. You walk up, and each one of those booths can be set to a different decentralized exchange or swap or centralized exchange, where whichever one you are most used to using, eventually you'll be able to go to, whether it's Pancake Swap or maybe it's Coinbase or whatever it is, and do your exchange right there inside the metaverse. And so it adds to those opportunities. I mean, we just partnered up with the DEX, top 4 DEX that's in there. We'll be pushing that forward more next week, because they have some major things that they're announcing next week. Part of that will be announcing them being inside the metaverse. They're already there. It's exciting. We're excited about it, but it just shows the possibilities. Imagine it's basically a bank. You're walking into a bank. Now it's just your crypto exchange where you are onboarding, offboarding, buy, sell, trade, do whatever you need to do. And so the metaverse really becomes that place where everybody's lifting each other up. All the people who believe in and trust Axion DAO, they see Meteorites, they see Interlink, and they go over and they go, what's this about? Interlink comes over. What's Axion about? It's like when you walk through the mall and let's say you're going to, Macy's in the mall, but you walk by, if you've got kids and you walk by Forever 21 and you're like, oh, you know what? Let me pop in there. My kid needs some stuff for, school, or they need some new clothes. If they weren't in the mall, you probably wouldn't think about stopping in there. Now it's just as we walk down the street in our everyday life, you come across these different businesses, and it's like, oh, that's there. I didn't realize it. Let me pop in. And maybe you were just walking over to Ralph's or Kroger's or whatever store that you were thinking of going to, but because another type of store was nearby, you thought, let me check it out. Your curiosity, you start to go, what is it? And that's the cool thing about this. And it does, it brings audiences together in a way that kind of like Spaces, like what you do in Spaces, or we do in something like this, where it brings us together and we talk about the partnerships and stuff. Now those audiences can go in and actually sit down and have, conversations separate from, a live stream like this, or, a space where maybe they didn't feel comfortable coming up as a speaker, but, inside the metaverse, they go, hey, let's go grab a cup of coffee in the metaverse, or let's go over here and play a game, or hop in a car and go for a ride in a Meteorites vehicle. It's the possibilities are endless. And that's the cool thing with it all, and how it helps to bring us all together.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you can definitely see that there's definite synergies at play here, which connect, all of the projects together, the ethos. We're all kind of vibing along the same lines, so that's why I'm excited to see where it's going to go. I think all of the communities are going to be very pleasantly surprised once it all comes together and starts to gel. So yeah, like I said, I'm really looking forward to it.
So while you guys were talking, I pulled this up because for the first time, I actually set this up. We're broadcasting to X too. So not only are we broadcasting this to YouTube, but I've got this on X, and I've never, and I think I've got it. I got to mute X. Otherwise we're going to get this real bad audio loop. But look at that.
Oh, look at that. Nice.
So we're going to start doing this from now on too. So we're going to start broadcasting both on YouTube and on X. In fact, I can, with this new setup, we can go into Facebook. I think there's a few other options too. But I'm going to click off this before I choke my system. But guys, it's been a treat to have you on board. CC, you're muted, but I don't know if you have any thoughts, questions you want to toss out there. But we're doing really good, guys. I've been saying this for quite a while. I like to try to keep these down to under an hour, and we're at 45 minutes, which usually means we're going to go for another half an hour because I just said that. But that's usually what happens on Spaces. I say, hey, we're about to wrap up, and then we end up going for 20 more minutes. But CC, how you doing, man? Any thoughts? Any questions?
Yep, no, all good, James. All of you guys are doing fantastic at the moment. I did download Income Island. I haven't got the chance to play it yet. I just had a little play with it the other day, but not deep dived into it. Graphics are awesome. Yeah, so I don't think anyone realises I'm a gamer, Call of Duty, Battlefield. So I do look at the graphical part of it. Reminds me a bit of Fortnite type thing. But the graphics are absolutely awesome. And I can't wait to see the Axion booth there. And then from Meta Rides driving the Axion car. Yep. Oh, yeah. Awesome stuff, guys. We're doing really, really well.
All right. Well, at the risk of petering out, we are going to have a little. And Cece, are you good for the aftermath party still for just a little bit?
Yeah, I'm good for probably. I was up 4 a.m. this morning, nearly 9 o'clock. But yeah, I'm good for 30 minutes. Yeah.
So we're going to hop over to Telegram and just hang out for 20, 30 minutes. If anybody wants to hop in, ask any questions, you can. If you don't want to toss your, if you don't want to throw your mic on, you can always type out some questions. We'll move over there. Hermie, Dylan, you're welcome to join us over there, but I know you guys are super, super, super busy. So if you can't, that's cool. Don't worry about it. But and I will circle back. I do want to kind of have a little more of an official interview, kind of, so I can put these articles together here over the next few days. Certainly by the end of next week, and then again, stay tuned on the announcements, everybody, because while next week is supposed to be just a simple report on Discord, because we're doing these live streams every other week. I was doing them every week for a little bit, and it's hard when you don't have a lot to report every single week. So, but we do have the potential for a couple more partners coming in, and so we may be doing this again next Thursday. So stay tuned with that. Discord is the best place to get our announcements. However, if you subscribe to our Medium articles, you can actually subscribe. You can follow, but you can also subscribe by putting in your email address. We don't get it, but you can put your email address in, and anytime we post something on Medium, you'll get it in your inbox. And they show up really nice. They look really clean. It's really nice to kind of see those articles pop up in the email threads. So, but we do typically I'm starting to get better at making sure the announcements are also on Telegram, and we have a couple people that watch both, and sometimes they post them for us. But now that we're going to be ramping these things up, especially now that we're going to be stepping into these marketing campaigns, and the momentum is really going to start to pick up. I'm going to be making a much bigger effort to make sure that we're getting our information out across all platforms, that we're getting it out with our partners, and you'll see a lot more announcements and threads and replies and comments when it comes to our partners, because we're going to be very engaged in everything that they're doing as well. So feel free to join us over on Telegram. We'll probably I'll probably take 5 minutes, but Cece, if you want to get started over there, that's awesome. In the meantime, if no one else has anything else to say or share or ask, we'll go ahead and we'll throw up. We've had a lot of good comments in here. But not really any. To make sure there's one question in here asking about when snapshot. So there's going to be a snapshot countdown that'll happen 10 days before we do the migration. Okay, which is slated right now for most likely towards the end of September, closer to the 22nd. If you see our support docs, we have it all listed in there. But there will be a snapshot at some point. But there will be plenty. There are going to be plenty of announcements for that, and for those who don't come in when we relaunch on base, the claiming process is going to be available in perpetuity. So even if you come in a month or two after we've migrated to base, you'll still be able to claim, and it will still pull from that snapshot, which and that's going to be in perpetuity. So if we've got people showing up almost a year later, they're still going to be able to claim those tokens. And we're doing a claim as opposed to an airdrop because we know that a very large section of our wallet holders may never come back, may never even step back into DeFi. But if they do, we want Axion to be one of those holdings that they have that they still have access to. And that's really been the whole purpose behind the way we're doing this migration, and the whole reason we're doing this is to ensure that those who participated in the project from day one can participate in the project moving forward. So we're excited about that, excited about a lot of the things that we've been able to accomplish. There's still more to come. And with that, no comments, no thoughts, no hands. We'll go ahead and we'll play it. Go ahead.
I'm not going to be able to join you on Telegram, so have fun, guys. I also just quickly want to think this is a really interesting opportunity to explore how DeFi could be utilized and used in the metaverse with our audience. Like, tell us what you want and we'll see if we can implement it. There's not too much DeFi in the metaverse, and something that I've been following for a number of years via different things. So there's a real opportunity to put together products and services potentially like that are going to benefit not just our community, but potentially other communities in the future as well.
Right. And we do have a suggestions and proposals thread on our Discord. So if you have any ideas that you think would be great, that you think would be valuable to us as we move forward, feel free to jump in Discord, hop in that proposals, suggestion and proposals thread, and share your ideas. And if you have any questions or concerns, we have that thread as well. We have an AMA. There's plenty of ways that you can interact with the team and with others within the ecosystem. And we really need to see, especially as we move towards this relaunch, we need to get our engagement and our participation in our different socials. We need to get that kicked up, and we can't do that alone. We need everybody's help. We need our OGs to really step up and play a part in that. So thank you for saying that, Dave, not John, Dave. Got it. All right, guys. Thanks for coming, Hermie. Appreciate you. We'll be talking again soon. Dylan, thanks for all the hard work in the background, and we'll see you on Telegram.
Yep, voices up, guys, in Telegram.
Okay. All right. And we're going to play us out with that, the remake of our launch video. Cheers.